Sections 11.5 and 11.6. We are again doing an abbreviated version of these sections. First things first, let's talk about how to find the volume of a prism. So the volume of a prism equals B times H, where B is the area of the base and H is the height of the figure. So based on what type of shape you have for the bottom of a prism, if it's a square, you're going to find the area of a square, multiply by the height. If it's a rectangle, find the area of the rectangle, multiply by the height, and so on and so forth. Now, the volume of a cylinder is B times H, where B is the area of the base. And the base of a cylinder is a circle. And if we remember, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the volume of a prism is the area of the base times the height. The area of a cylinder is pi r squared times H. Find the volume of the solid. Well, this is a prism. So the base is a rectangle. So the volume is going to be the area of the base. The rectangle is 11 by 4. So the area of the base is 11 times 4. And then to find the volume, we do the area of the base times the height. And the height of this thing is 5 meters. So to find the volume, it's the area of the base times the height. So our answer will be 220. And volume is in meters, is cubed meters, so meters cubed. Remember, area was units squared, well, this is units cubed. That's how we find the volume, the area of the base. The base was a rectangle, so we needed to do length times width, so 11 times 4, and then multiply the height. All right, I want to find the volume of this cylinder. Well, the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h, so let's do it. Volume equals pi, we're going to approximate with 3.14, times r squared, the radius is 5, so that's 5 squared, which will be 25, times the height. The height of that cylinder is 6. So we just type it in our calculator, and again, remember, make sure you square that first and get 25, so 3.14 times 25 times 6, that will give you 471 meters cubed. Again, remember, volume is cubed units. Cubed. All right. What do we got here? Oh, we have a triangular prism. It's a prism because both ends have polygons, and then it's connected by the edges. So now we got to remember, the volume of the prism is the area of the base times the height. The height is what connects the two bases. So technically, this is my height, guys. 2 is my height. Well, the area of the base is a triangle. What's the area of a triangle? Well, the area of a triangle, if you remember, is 1/2 the base times height of that triangle. So the area of this triangular base is going to be 1/2. The base of this triangle is 3. The height of the triangle is 1. And then the height of the prism is 2. So that's how we find the volume. The volume is area of the base. And remember, the 1/2, 3, and 1, that just represents the area of the base. That's the area of the triangle right there. So the volume is the area of the base times the height of the prism. So type that in your calculator, and you will get approximately 3 feet cubed. Okay? So next, we're asked to find the length of a side of a cube with a volume of 64 inches cubed. Well, guys, look. So in this case, I'm going to tell you one formula that you should definitely memorize. The volume of a cube, is just the side length cubed. That's where the name comes from. The volume of a cube is the side length cubed. So if I want to find the side length, we know the volume, 64 is the volume, that's equal to one of the sides cubed. Now, if we remember, when we have something squared, we take the square root to solve for the missing piece. If we have something cubed, we take the cube root in order to find the missing piece. Some calculators have cube roots, some don't. So in your calculator, you could either use the cube root key, or you could raise it. The cube root is the same thing. Write this down. Cube root is the same thing as it being raised to the 1/3 power. So you could take either 64, cube root of 64, or you could do 64, and in your calculator, do it to the 1/3 power. Okay? So that will give us a side length of 4 inches. Okay? And you can make sure your answer was right, because if we were going to cube 4, it better give me 64. So cube 4 means 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. We did it correct. All right. The volume of this cylinder shown is 1253. Find the value of x. Well, x is the radius. Well, we know the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. So we can fill in the information and solve for a missing piece. We know the volume is 1253. They gave us the volume. We're going to use 3.14 for pi. We're trying to find the radius, so r squared, that represents x squared, so I just got to solve for x squared. Okay, so I need to divide both sides by 10 and by 3.14. So do 1,253 divided by 10. Take that answer, divide it by 3.14, and you get 39.9 equals x squared. And now once we have something equals a unit squared, we take the square root of both sides to find the missing piece. So take the square root, and that would give us an approximate value of the radius being 6.3 centimeters. The next problem is going to ask us to find the value of a composite solid. A composite solid is made out of 2 different solids. If you look at this, what this is trying to show you here is this is a cylinder with a cylinder drilled out of it. So I have this big cylinder, and someone took a drill and drilled a hole out of it. So the volume of that solid is going to be the volume of the big cylinder minus the volume of the small cylinder, right? So again, let's think about this. I have this big cylinder. It has a certain amount of volume. If you drill out a certain portion of it, I'm subtracting that volume from it. Imagine this is solid, again. So we're drilling out a portion of it. So we're removing. So we got to remove that small volume. So the volume, again, it's pi r squared h. So the big one is going to be pi, 3.14, times the radius. The radius of the big one is 3. So that's pi r squared, so 3 squared, times the height of the cylinder is 7. So that would give us the volume of the big one, and then we need to subtract the volume of the small one. Well, again, it's going to be pi r squared h. Pi, but the radius for the small cylinder that's drilled out is only what? The radius is 1. So it's going to be 1 squared times 7. Remember, make sure in your calculator you square the numbers first and then do all your multiplication. So the volume would be, for the volume of the big cylinder, you should have got 197.82. And then we need to subtract the volume of the small cylinder, which was 21.98. So the volume of the composite solid, once you subtract those two, is 175.84. And the units was millimeters, so millimeters cubed. Because it is volume, we need cubed units. Okay, so that was volumes of prisms, which is the area of the base times the height, and cylinders, which is the area of the circle base times the height. Well, what about pyramids? Let's talk about pyramids. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 BH, where B is the area of the base. So based on the type of base that you have on your pyramid, we could have different bases. We could have a triangular pyramid, we could have a square pyramid, we could have a rectangular pyramid, and so on. So we're going to need to find the area of the base. It's 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So here's my pyramid. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we have these tick marks along the base telling me that the area is a square. So the volume is going to be 1/3 the area of the base. The area of a square is side squared, so 14 squared, times the height of the pyramid, and the height of the pyramid is 10. So it's just a calculator problem. Square 14, multiply by 10, multiply by 1/3, or divide by 3, same thing. And you should get the volume of that pyramid is about 653.3 meters, and it's volume, so we need to put the appropriate units, volume cubed, meters cubed. Okay, what about this pyramid? This pyramid, the base is a triangle. So, when I'm doing the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the area of the base. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So it's going to be 1/2, the base is 4, the height of that triangle is 6, times the height of the pyramid, 9. So again, I'm going to highlight something real quick. I'm going to underline. In this problem, this represented the area of the base. This 1/2 times 4 times 6, that represents the area of the triangle base. Okay? So the formula is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the pyramid, and the pyramid's 9. It's now a calculator problem. Plug that in your calculator, and you get the volume is 36 meters cubed. Next pyramid. The base is again a triangle. So this is exactly like the last problem. The volume of the pyramid is 1/3 times the area of the base. The area of the base is 1/2 of 9 times 16 times the height of that pyramid, and the height of that pyramid is 10. So again, I'm going to underline this portion right here just represents the area of the base. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the pyramid. It now turns into a calculator problem. You type in your calculator, this straight through, use parentheses, and you get 240 meters cubed. For this problem here, it's a little hard to see, but again, we have tick marks along the bottom, meaning all 4 sides there are equal. So we got a square pyramid again. So volume is 1/3 times the area of the base. The area of a square is the side squared, so 13 squared, times the height of the pyramid. And the height of this pyramid is 15. So I'm going to multiply that by 15. So the volume of this pyramid is 845 inches cubed. Again, don't forget volume is cubed units. Last one. In this pyramid, the base is a rectangle. So the volume of the pyramid is 1/3. The area of the base, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So 4 times 7 times the height of the pyramid, which is 9. So type that in your calculator, and you get the volume of that pyramid is 84 feet cubed. So again, make sure you have all your formulas you've learned in this chapter organized on one sheet of paper or a note card or something, so you can refer to them really quickly. Say, what shape do I have? What's the formula that I need to pick out to find either the area or the volume?